and Cuthbert with you, Go Sports Radio, from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on Long Island here on a Monday. That's right. Different schedule this week due to the Christmas holiday. No Wednesday and Thursday for us this week. It will be Monday, which is today, and Tuesday, which is tomorrow. Very, very busy. Lot to do. All the football from yesterday. We have a game tonight with the Niners and the Colts in Indianapolis. We've got the college football playoff from the weekend. We've got some pucks. We've got really a little bit of everything as we move ourselves forward here on a Christmas week on Go Sports Radio. Carver and Cuthbert. Mike Carver with you, along with Paul Cuthbert. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Good Monday to you, Michael. This is a little weird, but
it is a little weird.
I'm glad to be here.
Monday.
Always love being at Borrelli's. Doesn't matter what day of the week.
Doesn't matter because, whether it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, every day of the week is a good day to be down at Borrelli's Taproom every day. And while a lot of people are off this week, I've already seen the day drinkers are going to be out today. I can see them. They're here. And along with the dog walkers, they're always out too. But it's a nice cold afternoon in Long Beach on the island. How are you? How was your weekend? That feels like a Monday. We could do a how was the weekend thing. Look at this. It's the difference of not being on Wednesday.
Yes, this is true.
Wednesday's too late in the week to say how was your weekend.
Yeah, I agree.
Monday, you could do how was your weekend.
My weekend was pretty good. It was busy.
Yeah,
a lot of work and cramming in, watching as much football as possible and hockey and hoops and highlights as I could to have myself at least somewhat prepared to have a little sports soiree discussion with you this afternoon here in the great city of Long Beach.
I will tell you, I don't know if I'm necessarily 100% today, but I'm gonna try to go as good as I can.
I have to put the plastic shield between?
No, I don't think it's at that level. No. I think it's more like when I get like this, it's more like an allergy thing. I feel because I don't feel sick. I'm not like sick, but I'm just.
You're around a lot of Christmas trees lately. Maybe it's the pine.
One of the best decisions I made few years ago was I went fake tree.
Yeah, we had to.
Yeah. I couldn't do it anymore. I hated finding the pine needles in July still as I'm cleaning up the house. It sucked. And
we were forced to because the little guy was allergic to pine. We didn't know this. We didn't realize this. And like every Christmas there, we had to put him on one of those freaking oxygen things.
My God.
We couldn't figure out what it was.
Yeah. We just, I tapped out and now I love it. It's great.
It's easy. Pop up, lights are on.
I got the tree up in no time. Merry Christmas to you too, John, checking in on the chat box today.
Merry Christmas, John.
But yeah, it's the best. Like I got the tree up, bang, it comes down right back up in the attic and we're good to go.
More time to watch the games now instead of.
And I had plenty of time to, you know what? And I watched a lot of, obviously, as I always do, I watched a lot of games this weekend. There's a lot for us to discuss, and we will move our way through here. Usually we finished with an NFL week when we come back on Wednesday, but we still have a game tonight, Niners and Colts, which we'll get to in a little bit. But we'll start here, Paulie, and we like to start with the locals. And I know it's gotten a little tougher as we've moved on through the season because they're both so pathetic that it's been really hard to talk at length about the Jets and Giants seasons or what they do on a week-to-week basis. I'll say this about, and the Giants, they both lost. By the way, newsflash, if you're just waking up, they both lost again yesterday. In case you didn't know, they both lost again. They both stink.
They have been consistent.
But I will say, and I think there's a little bone to pick with the Giants and some of the things to do. And I get it. You want, everyone's in for the tank and everyone's looking to get the tank bowl this weekend, Paulie. Giants and Raiders in Vegas, both the two worst records in the NFL. Though, how do you want to win that game? The loser's going to be basically in the driver's seat to get it. They're going to get the top pick, the loser of that game. So interesting. But I think I said to you a few weeks ago, I think the one thing you want to see, like you have something to look forward to in the last month of the season for the Giants. Like you want to see Dart play and get better. And that's like something that like, no matter what, it's another bad year, but let's see Dart improve and get better. I got to tell you, and this was brought up by a couple people. And I know my buddy C-Mac from the Fan brought this up too on his show last night. There's just like, let's call it like it is.
Please.
He has not been as good since they fired Dable. That's just like a fact. Like just go look at it. Like
Yep.
now he got hurt, obviously that when they fired Dable and he didn't play for a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And now since he's been back in there, have you been like, wow, man, I'm so super excited to have Jackson Dart as my quarterback the last few weeks. Like I don't see it. It almost seems like, did they spend too much time, Paulie, with like, maybe we just got to protect this kid and not get his head taken off. Like I think they might have gone too far in that. Although I remember telling you belly aching about a play they ran for him at the goal line in the Washington game where they went in the blue 10 again. But it just hasn't. I felt like these were two games against Washington and Minnesota at home where you could really maybe see something out of them and maybe just tip the cap to Brian Flores and the Viking defense yesterday for having a great game plan against them. And he's a great defensive coordinator, and they did. But I haven't been super impressed, Paulie, to be fair, with Dart the last couple.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on the money there, C-Mac too. And yeah, it's been actually discussed here the last couple of weeks. And for me as a fan, I was, boasting about that. Hey, it'll be at least fun to watch Dart here these last few weeks. And then obviously the game or two back when he was, I was belly aching about the fact that he was putting himself in danger again and just getting hurt. And and then I was saying, hey, why don't you just rest the kid? Just don't protect the asset, right?
Yeah.
So, but I totally agree with the fact that there's not a lot of excitement going on there. And unfortunately, any good points that we could have looked forward to end the season on a positive note, it basically kind of fallen by the wayside here.
Right.
And now it's like, I just can't wait till it's the season's over. And I don't think many Giant fans are really tuning in anymore. I think that whole thing about watching Dart has lost its luster. And yeah, it is shining through pretty significantly that, yeah, since Dable's gone these last 2 weekends, definitely. There's no flair, there's no pizzazz there's nothing happening. There's nothing moving mountains. And yeah, I agree with all of that. And it's unfortunate. It's a shame. And this ties back, swinging back now too. And if you notice this, when you brought up that whole thing about, trading Dart,
the Mendoza stuff last week.
I got to stick up for you, pal. I think you were one of the first ones to bring it up because it was almost like clockwork that night or the next day. It all started coming out about the whole option to trade Dart and everything. And I wonder, with the way the season is ending here, and maybe the shine is kind of coming off Dart a little bit, that this may be draft. The draft might be very interesting for the Giants this year.
The Giant people that I talk to, fans that I talk to, are they saw that clip or we've discussed those things, and they think that that's a crazy notion. That it's you just steal all the assets from the Jets, and
it's not as crazy anymore.
And Dart's their guy. Remember something. Dart was Brian Dable's guy. Brian Dable is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who knows? Whoever the next person that's going to run the Giants. And I know this, since we're doing the Giants right now, I'll tie this in too, because this was on all the pregame shows yesterday. And that was that Notre Dame coach Marcus Freeman is going to be is a big candidate for the Giant job. He is a very coveted. He's the guy that they want to hire. He's the guy that they are after. Blah, 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 blah. I like Marcus Freeman, and maybe it's just me not wanting him to leave Notre Dame. And I don't think that he is going to leave Notre Dame. I will say it again for the 600th time. I do not think the Giants should hire someone who has never been a head coach in the NFL before.
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe that is the route that they should go down. I think they need to hire somebody who's got experience. Now, I understand that maybe you don't like some of the options, and we've done this already with the McCarthy, and tell you who else might be on the list for them if they want. This Harbaugh in Baltimore is going to get whacked. Can you not give Derrick Henry a carry the last 12 minutes of the game after you take a 24-4? What are we doing? Not giving Henry the ball. He had 125 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he didn't touch the ball the last 12 minutes of the game.
See, this is a sore
So
spot.
this guy might be on the street. Who bet? Well, Paul, that all breaks down to who bet the Ravens last night. That's what that all comes back to. But Harbaugh might be available, who's got tons of experience and won a Super Bowl in Baltimore. That marriage might end. So I understand the enamorment with Marcus Freeman. He's very impressive, all of those things. But I still will stand on the ground that the next Giant head coach has to be someone with NFL head coaching experience. I do believe that has to be the case.
Oh, the way Tomlin's been coaching these last couple of weeks,
he ain't going anywhere.
I know. I'd love to have him behind the Giants bench. Yeah, all interesting aspects of the Giants situation right now. And I guess if you're Giants ownership right now, you're just might as well just sit back and wait and see what happens. I guess the Giants are gonna have options, right?
Right.
And especially probably after the final week of play here coming up. A lot of the coaches will get fired immediately.
Yeah, I know that was another game they played on one of the NFL pregame shows yesterday. Like, who's all the insiders now are trying to tell you who's on the hot seat, who's staying. Like they all think McDaniel's going to be staying in Miami. Well, that was before his team got smashed by the Bengals. Yes, I don't think you could really know who's safe and who's not until, like you say, the final game is played, and that's just the nails in the coffin, and the Black Monday and all that stuff. Now it's really like these guys all get fired like hours after the game Sunday night. Now nobody even waits for Monday anymore. They don't even want to enter in the building.
So the Giants are going to have choices.
They're going to have some.
They're going to have choices at the draft. They're going to have choices for head coaches.
Well, I was told they'd be nuts to not trade the pick to the Jets. They'd be nuts.
No, you're not nuts.
I know I'm not nuts. No. I was told that I'm nuts, and all the people on TikTok told me I'm nuts too, right? And all the TikTok people say that I was crazy.
There were a couple of big guys on network TV after the day after that was saying the same thing. So
yeah,
you're not nuts, pal.
I'm not nuts at all, and we shall see how it goes. But you
still may have the last laugh, my friend.
I might. Now that laugh might not be for years from now, depending on what happens. If Mendoza's really good, things like that. We'll see what happens with Dart, but this game this week is not just about, I think that I'm done with the Dart development thing. I don't think that that's even possible under Kafka. Kafka's just, I just don't think it matters now at this point. But this is a must-see game for the Giants on Sunday, and we'll talk more about it tomorrow because this is the Tank Bowl. This is it. Giants, Raiders. Both teams are, what are they now? 2-13 going into this game. The loser will be as close as ever to locking up the first overall pick, as long as they don't screw it up in week 18.
The Raiders might be tossing Carroll over the ship too.
You know what? I know that, good thing Davis has a lot of money. He'll be paying a lot of guys for a long time. But yeah, that's tough. You go 2 and say you finish it out, you go 2-15. They lose this game to the Giants. I guess it's possible. Carroll was on that list of might not make it. After he might be a one and done.
Tell you this much, watching his pressers, man, he don't care.
No, he don't.
So cool.
Yep.
He was actually
that's from years of doing it.
Yeah,
he's nothing gets him.
Also too, he's got his coin.
Oh, right? He's got plenty of money. He's won a Super Bowl. He's won a national. He's one of the few guys who's won both in the NFL and college. He's won it all.
And if he wants to coach again, there is more than enough work out there.
Yeah. There certainly is. I mean, he is 70, whatever he is. We did this talk when he got, he is 72 or whatever, the deal is. So I don't know how much
doesn't look it, man. He looks good.
He does look good him and Belichick are like the same age, and he looks a lot better than Belichick right now. Mm-hmm. So that's the one thing that I would, in that aspect. But yes, there is a Giant game of high consequence this Sunday. That is a must watch game if you are a Giant fan, and the majority of them will be rooting for them to lose. That is congratulations. You are going to be in a game that the loser is the winner.
It's crazy.
On Sunday.
Losing party.
On the other side of town, and this is, I feel like we spend less and less time on the Jets every single week.
And it's rightfully so.
And rightfully so. And here's all I'll say to you. Usually teams have got something. Even the worst teams, when you're in these last 2 or 3 weeks of the season, there's at least something that you maybe want to watch and maybe just give you whatever it is. I was thinking about it last night after they lost the game to the Saints, and I watched that Cook play again. He stinks. So you already know now. You don't even need to see him play. He's going to play this week against New England, but you already know he sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really just trying to see if you have something there. I don't think that there even is that. That's not even excitement if you're a Jet fan. There is no reason even watch any of their games. There's just none. There's just zero. I don't think that they can, even if they lost their last 2 games, I think there's too many teams ahead of them that they could get the first pick. Like it would be like, it's hard for that, like to watch for them to lose. Like what is there to watch? Like what?
Commercials.
Oh my God. Like how, that's gotta be brutal. And I kind of know what that's like. From all those years, the Bills were bad. Like it's just.
What time is it? It's 12:16. Has anyone been fired yet? Team? Anybody
Well,
else?
no, I don't think so. I saw a tough guy he did his press conference already today. Tough guy did his press conference already today, and I don't think anybody got chopped. So, but like, what is the quality to watching one of their game? What is the redeeming quality or something to like sit down and go, I'm watching to see this. I want to see if this is better. What is it?
There's nothing, pal. It's
like
only
we named a bunch of stuff with the Giants. Like there's this dart, that lose the tankathon for the first pick and all the. What is it with the Jets? There's nothing to watch.
Anybody getting a shot to play that they haven't seen yet, or the fans might be interested in?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Changing a jersey, helmet, anything like that. They giving anything away?
I'll tell you one thing. I don't think
they're giving anything away during the broadcast. Maybe
I don't think they're going to do it, but I'll be rooting. They're not going to win. I'll be rooting hard for them. I'd love to see the Patriots lose this game to them, but
Pats ain't going to lose. That.
I know. Pats, go Pats. They're not going to lose the game. You're right. But
yeah, again, we're spending way too much time on the New York Jets, and we somewhat apologize and don't apologize to Jet fans, but this is it.
This is it. I will tell you.
1969 is a long time ago.
The Jets finish with the Patriots and the Bills the next 2 weeks. I mean,
as you would say, 2 smash jobs for the other squads. So
yeah, there's going to be seating at play for both of those. There's a stuff on the table for them. So
absolutely,
yeah. That's just what an abysmal year. And I guess he's going to survive. It seemed like all the insiders thought that Glenn's going to get another crack.
Well, I don't think anybody could come in and get any change. Do you see any major change in the Jets' record next year?
I mean, look,
with how they're built.
Are they going to have Fernando Mendoza as their quarterback? We don't know. We don't even know if that's a guarantee.
Even still, man. Nobody can save that franchise right now for the next 2 or 3 seasons. I know one thing: you can't have Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor, and this Brady Cook. That's not going to be the quarterback room. They're going to have to draft somebody, and there's no guarantee that we talk about all this hypothetical stuff about the Giants trading him, the pick to the Jets, and getting Mendoza and all those things. Like that's still all fantasy land. You don't know if that's actually going to happen. Mm-hmm. The Jets may be in the 4th pick and no one trades with them and they don't get any quarterback and they might still be in quarterback hell. So there's just, it is such a hard place to get out of. When you're in quarterback purgatory in the NFL, it's so hard to get out. And there's no guarantee, even though the Jets have all these assets and they've got great assets now with multiple 1st-round picks and all these things, that doesn't mean you're automatically going to get off the island. Misfit Island with the quarterbacks. You just have to, you got to hope and get lucky. And it changes you like that sometimes. It's all it takes. So Jet fans are just basically going on a nice long summer vacation.
You better hope that these people that
probably forget about the team.
You better hope that this Muji and that they know what they're doing, or else it just puts you further and further in the hole. That's what it does. Because the guys in the past didn't know what they were doing, and they're further and further in the hole. And now you hire guys to try to climb them out of it. And you hope you have the best guys to do it. That's all that it is. So Jets and Giants, another miserable Sunday for the locals.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Here in New York.
Thanks a lot.
For them. Now, Week 16 does conclude tonight. Monday Night Football in Indy. Old Man Rivers and the Colts against the Niners. Now, this has become, with the Seahawks beating the Rams the other night, the Niners, if they win their last 3 games, they will win the NFC West, get the 1 seed. They will be which is pretty wild to believe. They'll be the team in the NFC. So there's a lot on the table for San Francisco here tonight. They play the Bears next week on a Sunday night game. Like, that's a huge, there's some the Niners play Monday night tonight against the Colts, Sunday night against the Bears, and I can guarantee you that Seattle game will either be Saturday night or Sunday night in prime time if it's for the 1 seed in the West and the bye and all those things. So get ready. You're going to see a lot of Brock Purdy and George Kittle over the next few weeks.
Just hope they stay healthy, man. They can keep this thing going. I mean, that's the main thing, because you lose either one of those two guys, which they have lost quite often here lately over the last 2 seasons. I mean, I think that's been one of the biggest problems with the Niners is just the train gets rolling here and then it comes off the track. So
right.
Huge game for them the rest of the way. And you look at the way the Bears are playing, and oh man, I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit about that.
We'll
Hawks game the other night, Rams, unbelievable.
Well, that game, we could kind of do that game because that game ties into this game in such a big way, because the Seahawks winning really did swing the door open for the Niners in such a big way.
I was throwing things at my TV, man. It was bad Thursday night for me.
I thought it was a 16-point lead.
16-point lead. Then they get the interception.
Craziest.
Then they get the interception.
Right.
And then instead of putting the nail in the coffin, they squander the 4 downs.
Yep.
Punt the ball away. Seahawks run it back. And here we go. And bravo to the Seahawks.
And you had the wild 2-point conversion play, which...
the 2 of them. Obviously, the one that closed the game, and then the one to get the 2.
The one with the tie the game, which was
Sam Darnold.
Backwards pass, pushed it up, and all. And it was as zany as that was, I still think a few days later, they did get it right. I know people were complaining about it. But if you go by what the actual rules are, whether you like it or not, they did get it right. So at that point, but
I don't look even with that. The Rams, and I think a lot of NFL teams, you have to watch that game. 3 games left here in the season, the playoffs coming up. When you have a chance to bury a team and put them away.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back to the Bills Patriots, 21 points. The Pats are up 21-0. Don't finish it out. Bills come back and win that game. Thursday night, same thing. Rams had them. Seahawks were just shooting themselves in the foot.
Right.
And then it totally flipped. And I think the Rams just got lazy. They got lazy. They thought they were just going to coast it. It was because what? It was like 6-7 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
On that run back when they got, they made that big stop, the big interception. And then it just goes to show you, man, you got to put teams away.
Yep.
You can't mess around, man. Time management, your special teams, all that stuff is playing into now. Because and we've seen it in college now. Just this weekend too, man. You got to put teams away. Keep the foot on the neck and just run them out.
You got to do that. It's no game is ever over in these things. It really is amazing. Nothing safe.
And there were some tight games this weekend too. In college, a couple there, and then a couple. We had a little bit of everything. We had teams that took care of business, and then we had teams that just let things go.
Well, I think the Niners are going to be a team tonight that takes care of business.
My confidence now after the Rams last Thursday is kind of shattered, Michael. I can't be as confident anymore with the teams I like. They're breaking.
I know we kind of got into this a little Thursday because we forgot we were going to be here on Monday, but I like the Niners tonight. I think it's a smash play for the Niners.
It should be.
I feel like I said to you the other day, hat tip to Steichen and the Colts, the way that they game planned against Seattle last week. They did an unbelievable job. Defense, running game, short passes. They did all those things to keep them in the game on the road with a 44-year-old quarterback who hadn't played in 5 years. I don't see the same script tonight. I see the Niners getting up in this game, and that's going to allow them to tee off on Rivers.
Oh, man, it's had a week of practice now.
A full week of practice for him, which he didn't get last week going into that game. But you know what he also got last week that he hadn't gotten in 5 years is hit.
Yeah.
So he's had a week to sit on that too. I love the Niners big. I think the Niners are going to take care of business in Indy. And I feel you might feel bad for Rivers by the end of the night. It might be a bad night for him all the way around. Could be ugly.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I don't wish anything bad on Rivers.
I'm laying the 5.5.
Yeah, that's the way it should be. I mean, Niners, yeah, just the way I thought the Rams were going to do it. But I'm not so confident anymore. Look at me. I'm just a weak man right now.
Well, look, here's what I'll say to you about the Rams.
Absolutely.
The Rams, I feel like even if they don't win the division and let's say they're the 5 seed and they got to go on the road, I think that they're capable of handling that. And remember this too, the door's not closed for them to be the 1 and win the division.
Yeah.
Because they got like wiffle ball the last 2 weeks. Like they're playing who they got this? They got Atlanta and Arizona the last 2 weeks. They should win those games, and that's going to get them to 13. And the Niners could lose. All they need is the Niners to lose a game, which they could to the Bears on Sunday night, or the Seahawks to lose a game, which they could to the Niners the last week of the season. That's all it takes. And the Rams win their last 2 games, and they're going to be the team that's still the 1. So
I think McVay will have those guys turn around. They got to win those games. So
look, and that's a super extra rest spot for them too. Going from a Thursday to a Monday, they're going to get a lot of extra rest.
Finish the job on Thursday night. It's so different.
They'd be coasting,
but it is what it is.
But we got to have the excitement. It is.
Well, we got it now. We got it now with the Niners. We got it with the Bears. We have it with the Seahawks now. It's kind of flipped back. So there's a lot of excitement there, and there's some good stuff going on in the AFC too.
There is. There is some good stuff going on in both of those areas for us. That's for sure. So I'm pumped for that one tonight because I think that they're going to lay the lumber on them. The other games, and we mentioned Seahawks and Rams, that I'll tie into that is this Bear game.
Phenomenal.
Also on Saturday night.
Phenomenal game for the Bears.
Now, the Packers lose Love to a concussion. Malik Willis comes in, and give him credit because I think that for the first couple years Malik Willis was in the NFL, this guy's a hack. He can't throw. He can't play the position. He can't do anything. And Matt LaFleur has turned him into a capable backup. Now, is he a prototypical quarterback that's going to come in and lead? No, he does it a little different way, but LaFleur understands what Malik Willis does well, and he's even made him a better thrower, and he can come in and move the football and get you wins in a spot. I think the problem the Packers had on Saturday night was obviously all those drives were stalling and they were kicking field goals all night. And eventually that caught up to him when the Bears made their rally late. And they did something that is so rare. I think it was only the 4th or 5th onside kick recovery this year. And the Bears get it. Caleb Williams, bang, that a big play to DJ Moore in overtime to end it. And the Bears season has been one big magic carpet ride.
Yes.
And it kind of feels like, as much as everybody wants to keep dismissing them, and I don't know if 1 through 53 they're as good as the Packers, or 1 through 53 they're as good as the Rams or the Seahawks or the Niners or any of these teams, but they got a little something going, and they've got that mojo with them too. And I know that stuff doesn't get put on charts and graphs or put in spreadsheets or but it's there. Washington had it last year with the games that they won all the way going to the NFC title game. The Bears have that this year, and they're a couple wins away. Maybe they're the 1 seed and getting the bye and sitting at home the first weekend. So hats off to them. They've had just an unbelievable year.
Look, the onside kick to, one incredible catch in the end zone, and then one great playoff to the right there for the tying touchdown as well too. Going for it. Defense playing well enough, keeping the Pack 16. They did their job. And you just have some great individual athletic performances by guys on their team every week.
Yeah.
I've been getting a kick. I watched the post-game locker room with Coach Johnson and stuff. And they're having a lot of fun in there. And they're believing, and he's keeping them grounded too. He said even yesterday after the win, he says, hey, we ain't done yet. We got lots of work to do. And it's a combo. Look, what he's accomplished in his first season there is just unbelievable. It's just rejuvenated the whole Bears franchise, the fan base, everything else, minus what's going on here with the stadium issues. But it's great to see the Chicago Bears being relevant in the NFL again. And for that city, big-time sports city, And you said it, man. It's a magic carpet ride. It's a lot of fun. And you just shake your head and I mean, those are highlights you just keep rewinding because you keep sitting here going, how the hell did he get that ball, the pressure that was on him, and then the catches and everything else. So just good stuff, man. Good for Chicago. And it makes, again, these last 3 games in the NFC is still up for grabs, number 1 seed. And for us as fans, besides the junky teams that are, on the bottom here that we're not going to waste any time with, we got some great top-heavy games with some really competitive franchises that are going out.
And that Bear-Niner game Sunday night, that's just
it's setting up a
massive game.
Setting up a great playoffs, man.
Massive game coming up on Sunday night with the Bears and the Niners. It really is. We're going to go through the rest of the games here a week from yesterday. There are still a couple of other places that we got to stop and check in on. We will get into the college football playoff from the weekend as well. Once again, they should not have had those dopey teams in, Tulane and Jimmy Madison. But, hey.
They're out, huh?
Oh, they're out, huh? Yeah, they're out. Wow. They're out, all right.
So hardly even knew ye.
So we'll do all that as we move along here. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach, on Long Island, here on a Monday. That's right. Different schedule this week because of the Christmas holiday. We will come back. Actually, Paulie is going to let you know what's going on. And there are a lot of things happening at Borrelli's. Busy here again last weekend, and there's tons of stuff on the schedule at Borrelli's.
Yes, always is. Once again, we are broadcasting live from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach, 912 West Beach Street. Open today and tomorrow for lunch, and also going to be open on Christmas Eve as well, too. So just to let everybody know real quick, it is the holiday week, so there's a couple of things happening this week. As far as the hours, Christmas Eve is going to be 11 to 6, and there is a Christmas Eve party here that I'm going to tell you guys about here in just a minute. You got any last-minute holiday catering? Call Borrelli's. It's 516-705-8674. Get your orders in here over the next couple of days. Check out the menu at Borrelli'sTaproom.com. Great stuff. So if you need anything to add to your holiday parties this week, once again, call Borrelli's at 516-705-8674. So Christmas Eve, bars, we're going to be open here at 11 o'clock and open until 6 p.m. All right. Now, this is the this has changed. I'm sorry. Wow. This is breaking news.
It's Christmas Eve party.
Oh, that's why I'm not even reading it. All right. So the Christmas Eve party is Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen. And that's just my bad because I didn't read it correctly here. So look, this is pretty cool. All right. There's a brand new Christmas Eve party here on Tuesday. All right. And they're going to have live music with Logan Wally coming in here at 7 p.m. And then the Select are going to play from 10 p.m. to close. All right. So you got 2 great acts for live music. You got 2-for-1 pizzas and 2-for-1 entrees. Yes. All right. So these specials are dine-in only. All right. So no take home for that for call-in orders. So 2-for-1 pizzas, 2-for-1 entrees. That's the Christmas Eve party, which is tomorrow night. Mike, we might as well just stay here after the show. Let's just stay. Call the wives. They won't be happy, but we'll just stay here and hang out.
I would love to do that.
All right. So there you go. And then on Christmas Day, Borrelli's going to be open at 5 o'clock and open till late. All right. And then Christmas Eve, the hours are 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you can get down here for some Christmas lunch and a little bit of day drinking. So again, it's the holiday week. So that's what's going on. So the big thing is the Christmas Eve party tomorrow night here with Logan Wally and the Select live music and great food, drink specials, always here at Borrelli's. There you go, bud. That's what's going on through Christmas Day here at Borrelli's this week.
That is outstanding. Isn't Tuesday Festivus? That's true, too. The 23rd is Festivus. A Festivus for the rest of us.
I always forget that.
Down at Borrelli's.
The additional
Taproom. Everybody loves Festivus. I mean, I'm sure that like some people who have never watched Seinfeld are going, what the hell are you talking about? But Festivus is, there's nothing like it. To be quite honest with you. Steve also had in there, should John Harbaugh go to Michigan? Now, I'll tell you this, Steve. After everything that went down with Jim, and Jim won a national championship at Michigan before heading back to the NFL, I will say, I don't think that you will ever see a Harbaugh involved with Michigan football again. Yes, they won, but the amount of NCAA sanctions things otherwise. And remember something, too, about John. John's not a college guy. He's been in the NFL his whole life. It's such a different game now, especially. John Harbaugh he's been with the Ravens so long. If that marriage comes to an end at the end of this season, which I think it might, he can have another job in 5 seconds in the NFL. So I think that's where John will be. If he wants to, he'll be back in the NFL and like that. Because he's got too much his resume is too big. And when a guy's won that much, now I don't think you can like what has happened the last few years. And this will lead me right into picking back up yesterday's games, that last night game between the Ravens and the Patriots. We'll just get right there. That is the 12th fourth quarter blown lead of 7 or more points by the Ravens since 2021. 12th, Paulie.
They had that game in hand.
And let me tell you, I can't stand the Ravens. I love when they lose. I don't like them. I've never liked the Ravens. I can't stand the Ravens for whatever reason. I just thought maybe it's from even when I was a kid. I didn't like how they left Cleveland. I just didn't like any of it.
I don't know if you're going to
So I didn't like, I wasn't, I've never been a Raven fan. When you have Derrick Henry on your team and he is wearing out the defense on the other side and he has 129 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns in the game, and you have a 10-point lead, it's 24-14, I believe, at the time when he scored that touchdown. They put him up 24-14. And there's 12 and a half minutes left to go in the game. How he doesn't physically put his hands on the football again in the last 12 and a half minutes of that game, that alone is a fireable offense by whoever. Now, since they hired this Todd Monken a few years ago as their offensive coordinator, go look at them in the playoffs the last couple of years. They come in as a big favorite because, look, there's Lamar, last year Derrick Henry, this year. And for some reason, and they did this 2 years ago in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs. They did it last year in Buffalo when they lost to the Bills. For some reason, they abandoned the run game. I don't know what it is. And it's supposed to be like the calling card strength of their team. Last night, Lamar hurt again, and it's been an awful year for him with injuries, and he doesn't play in the second half. You've got Tyler Huntley in the game who's doing what he can, but they built that lead there on the back of Derrick Henry and him pounding the defense. And for you to say after the game, Harbaugh, well, that was our rotation. He wasn't in because the Patriots got it to 24-21 after the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens got the ball back, and he wasn't out there for the drive. They had this Mitchell in, who's more of their speed, kind of back. Well, that was where the rotation was. Maybe we should have changed that. You think? Maybe we should have changed that? Paulie, it's a fireable offense. You can't have him sitting on the sidelines when he's pounding the hell out of the football. In a fourth quarter game where you're holding on to a lead, how does he stand there and you don't put him in the game? How does the coach not go, hey, Todd, maybe you should get 22 in. Maybe you should start the drive with him and let him, pound the football here a little bit and put us in. He was averaging 7 yards a carry.
And what are the things you could list? An injury they didn't want to tell us about, a problem that he's having with him.
I'll actually give you the list. Would you like the list? Because those would be things like you just said that maybe you would be able to say. Those sound like legitimate reasons. I actually know the legitimate reason. Stupidity. That is the legitimate reason. Stupidity. And that is why it's time to move on.
Wow.
The ship has sailed.
That's it. One game. That's it.
For Harbaugh, the ship has sailed. Now, he's been there forever. They won a Super Bowl back. But for him to not even get to one with Lamar and this crew the last few years, and I get it, it's the same problem the Bills have had. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have been standing there in the way.
Mm-hmm.
So we've all had the same problem the last few years. 12 fourth quarter leads?
Yeah, that's a lot.
In the last 4 years, Paulie? Losing those games? And a couple of those in the playoffs. That's... It's
Yeah, I
not.
mean, last year in the playoffs too. What the kid tight end, he dropped a couple.
Well,
big
Andrews
passes.
dropped. That was the
Yeah,
Bills game where he
yeah.
Andrews dropped the ball. He could have won that game. But
I just give that guy so much respect.
He's
Just
had some
seeing
bad
him on
luck too.
But just seeing that kid back on the
But-
field again, man, it's just like that was brutal last year.
But they last night did the same thing they did in the Chief game 2 years ago in the AFC title. Why weren't they running the football? And I know they didn't have Henry in that game, but they still had a really strong running game 2 years ago before they had Henry. And they did the same thing. Monk and just he's like trying to air it out. Like what are we doing?
I don't have the answers, Michael.
Lamar's
really
out of the game, and you have a monster standing on the sidelines who's already got 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. And maybe I'm more hot about this because I bet the Ravens last night. So I guess that probably adds into it a little bit. So yeah, I'm upset. Maybe I wanted to see the Patriots lose because the Bills would have been even with them with 11 wins. Maybe there was a lot of things at stake for me last night.
In the scope of just general football practices, all that aside, betting, wanting the team to lose for your team reasons, football, it really doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
So
makes no sense.
Doesn't make
now
any sense.
On the flip side of this coin, because it's we could kill the Ravens as deservedly so, and why isn't Henry in the game? On the flip side, you have to give credit because New England, a week off of losing that game to Buffalo where they had a 21-point lead, goes on the road, and Drake May played like an MVP in the fourth quarter.
We talked about that. How is he going to respond? And they responded
and
very
they were
well.
down multiple scores in the fourth quarter, and to come back, and that throw he made, the go-ahead touchdown was a run by Stevenson. The one before that, Kyle Wilson, the one that Wilson called, what a throw to the corner. Just a great throw by May, and give them tons of credit because that was just an oniony win, Paulie, by them to come back on the road, and then Denver loses. Now they got 12 wins with that. Like it was such a huge win for New England, and hats off.
Well, there you have Baltimore, another team who had a chance to put the nail in the coffin and take care of business, even with regards to Jackson being out, injuries, and everything else, but not using their assets to take care of business. And then here come the Patriots, take advantage of it. Fantastic individual.
May was incredible.
And there you go. And more power to them.
And what this also, big picture for Baltimore now, Paulie, they have now put themselves in a spot where, they thought we're going to play the Steelers the last game of the year, and that's going to give us a chance to get them. Well, guess what? Because you lost that game last night, now the Steelers, we'll get to in a moment here, because they won in Detroit and you lost last night, now the Steelers just have to beat the Browns this week. And that game against the Ravens means 0 because the Steelers will win the division if they beat the Browns this week. So, awful job by the Ravens. And I'm handing out compliments like I did to New England. I'll do it also here. I did not think there was any way in hell Pittsburgh was going to go into Detroit and beat the Lions this week. That was one of my favorite. The Lions are going to smash them. This game means so much more to Detroit. Blah, 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 blah. What a job by the Steelers.
Yeah.
Going into Detroit, ran the ball down there, throw 2 big runs by Warren. Rodgers does just enough. Like, defense got stops. Great win for the Steelers.
They're kind of playing. They're playing to their abilities.
Yeah.
And they're gelling really well as a team here. And you got one of the best guys in the league running the show with Tomlin and stuff. And
Tomlin's great.
He believes in them, and he was great. They ran a great game plan, and very impressive win in a game that Detroit had to have. And I got to tell you, watching Campbell's post game, he was very humble.
He should be.
And maybe a season or 2 ago, he would have had his head down. He'd have been crying. He might have broke a couple of things, but he said they only have themselves to blame.
And he's right about that.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a year now where they're going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay. They are. They need Green Bay to lose both of their games, and they need to win both of their games. I don't trust them winning both their games. Forget what Green Bay needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
This has been a lost year for the Lions. And I think that Campbell, honestly, Paulie, I think he made a big mistake firing the offense. Well, I don't know if he fired him, but he took the play calling away from the offensive coordinator, and he started calling the plays. And the first game he did it, I forget who they played, but they had like 40 points. They busted out and they had like 40 points and they had all these things. And it hasn't been the same since then. And they have, and I feel like, and I know they've had a billion injuries on defense. I feel like he lost his focus as team wide. And he was so focused on calling the plays that I think he let some other things go through the cracks. And this is the result of that now. Is they're going to miss the playoffs.
Sometimes that's just a natural progression of things when you do so well, right? The last couple of years, you get into deep into the playoffs, and then your guys start getting hired for jobs.
Well, he lost two coordinators. Yes. Like he lost both his guys. And, losing Johnson and Glenn, forget how they even have done at their next spots.
Exactly.
They were such a big part of what they were the last few years.
Absolutely.
Coming back up. And it's not easy to it's hard to replace one guy when you're a winning team and you lose one of your coordinators. Mm-hmm. He lost them both. Mm-hmm. And I think that it really caught up as the season went on, and he put a lot on his plate thinking that he could do everything. And I think there's going to be, and he's very humble about it, like you said, and there's going to be a lot of reevaluation for him this offseason is in getting another offensive guy in there, because I don't know if he's the best X's and O's guy like Dan Campbell. I don't know if he's that. Like Ben Johnson, who he lost to Chicago. I think Ben Johnson's like a real charts and graphs, great X's and O's type of guy. I think Dan Campbell's biggest strength is he's a great motivator. Like he's got passion, and he's one of these guys that he's like, the speech in the locker room. Like you could like the Al Pacino in Any Given Sunday and all. Like it's like Dan Campbell is a guy that players want to play for. He's passionate. He's a former player. He's got I don't know if he should be calling plays. I think he needs to be involved in the entire team as a head coach, and that's what made him successful the last few years. I think it was too much too soon.
Yeah, I mean, you called it. And the mold he had the last couple of years allowed him to, look, they were rock bottom there. And the ownership hung in with Campbell, and they rose, and they've done well. Obviously, the quarterback situation, the trades, and everything else.
They did lose a lot of guys on D this year. They, especially in the secondary, they've got a skeleton crew back there, and it's not easy.
He's made Detroit a winner again. He's made Detroit a place that guys will want to come and play for.
Right.
So, and he's proven himself. Obviously, hasn't won the whole thing yet, but he's proven himself. And like you just said, you make a couple adjustments, you get a couple of guys in who can run offenses and defenses, and then he's the center part of it, the core of it. They've got a really talented team. It's not like they're not going to be back next year.
I think it's, and you look at now, as we're down to 2 weeks left in the regular season, and a lot of these playoff spots are getting clinched, and it's really just going to be about seeding the next 2 weeks. But the 3 of the 4 or 5 favorites to win the Super Bowl before the season started, the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Ravens. They're 3 of the 5 preseason favorites, like in terms of, who's going to win the Super Bowl this year. Those are 3 of the 5 teams you would have had at the top of the list. By this time next week, boy, they all could be out, like eliminated, not even in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. 3 of the 5 favorites preseason. And that means we got a very wide open January coming our way. Like there's a very wide open January.
But it's fun. It's exciting. We got some teams in there that have really played well. We haven't talked about a bunch of them yet, but you just look at how things are mapping out. It's good that it's getting a little repetitive, but we are saying this every week that the playoffs are going to be excellent this year. Yeah. The right teams are going to be in it. And the teams who want to get in last here are going to have to earn it. And those teams are going to be pretty good too.
So Steelers win. Now they can win the North with a win over the Browns next week. Tremendous job by them. Tomlin with his 18th winning season. And
he's phenomenal, man. He's
where are all those people that were in Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago cheering for him to be fired during that Bills game?
Kudos to ownership, though. I mean, it's just something you don't see in sports a lot these days. Is a guy. I mean, Steelers are still kind of old school. They've just had one guy run the ship here for a long time, but his record just backs it up. Championships help there as well. But man, just solid program, solid guy. Good for him. And they might cause a little trouble there in that second round.
It's possible. I don't know, but the matchup's going to be important when you get to that.
He'll be respectable.
Yeah, look, it's not not an easy place to go in and play. That's for sure. All right, the other teams very impressive from Sunday. How about the Jags going into Denver?
Bravo.
Give Lawrence tons of credit. Again, I'm giving everybody credit because these are people that I've bashed for a long time.
Well, we've been waiting for them.
Right.
We've been waiting for them to step up in the moments in the games that matter to get them over that next level, to get them over that next hump, to show us, are you the Warren or the number one pick there a few years ago and taking this franchise, and now he's starting to show it.
And sometimes all it takes, and this can be said about a lot of guys, sometimes they have to change where they are before it happens. Lawrence didn't have to do that. I mean, they've cycled through a bunch of head coaches, but they have finally found a head coach there that meshes well with Lawrence and has unlocked Lawrence into the guy that everyone thought he was going to be when he was taken first overall.
Which is weird because when he was introduced, man, I think a lot of us were like, "Who?"
Well, but
here?
he had. I know Cohen's he's a bit of a weird dude,
very eccentric.
But he's another guy. He's like Johnson. He's X's and O's, cerebral, charts and graphs, offensively.
Good modern day coach.
And a modern day coach. Yeah. But some of these guys that get taken in the top 5 of the NFL draft as a quarterback, we are very quick to discard them. And listen, some guys, it becomes obvious quick that they can't play. Some guys, Paulie, it just takes the right guy to unlock them. And I don't think that anybody thought Lawrence just couldn't play. I didn't think he had done enough to deserve the contract extension that they gave him before last year. But Cohen has unlocked him to what people thought he was going to be. When he was coming out and first overall to the Jaguars, he was put on the same level as Peyton Manning. Like, he's going to be that good.
Yeah.
And not everybody does, and it's taken a few years and he's done it. And Ripper makes a good point. Mayfield sure misses him, and he was unbelievable for the Bucs last year with Baker Mayfield, and that's why Mayfield, give him credit. He's had 3 offensive coordinators in 3 years, and Cohen was the one last year, and that guy, he's gotten guys jobs all over the place. So nothing to worry about in that aspect. Cohen's been excellent, and Lawrence has been excellent for both of those guys. My other one for the Chargers as well, going into Dallas, and you thought that the Cowboys would be finished at the end, but they have gotten the job done, and they go into Dallas, smash job against the Cowboys, who knew they were out of it after the Eagles won on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chargers, because Denver lost, they're back. They could be the 1 seed in the AFC now too. There's a lot of moving parts with some of these teams now, Paulie. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, look, you know how happy that makes me because, like I said, we want this shake-up thing going here.
Shake it up.
Just it was a really fun weekend for just kind of things panning out a little bit more, and teams that maybe the week before were kind of knocked back a little bit have jumped back into it. So this is all laying out pretty good here, and I think there's just so much to look forward here in these last 3 weeks as far as who's going to show us now. I mean, Mike, I'll ask you this. Do you see anybody who's flexing a little bit more as far as top seed in the AFC and top seed in the NFC going forward? Is anybody stood back for you and said maybe they're going to be the number 1 team when it's all said and done here? Or are you maybe like the rest of us thinking, man, this thing is still pretty wide open? I mean, the Texans are still rolling too. Took care of business as well.
Texans
they keep
are
getting
rolling.
More flowers every week.
Now they messed around a little with the Raiders yesterday.
Yeah, but
listen, you can't. They've had a very easy schedule the last few weeks, and they've been, for the most part, pounding everybody. So I give them credit. They still got the job done. Now they play the Chargers this week. Texans-Chargers on Saturday. Good game.
Mm-hmm.
Really good game. I still believe in the AFC. New England's, because of that win last night, New England's going to get the 1. New England's going to get the 1 seed, and they're going to, because they play the Jets and Flipper the last 2 weeks. Like, I just don't believe with potentially the 1 seed on the line, they're going to screw up and lose one of those games. They're going to get to 14. They're going to be the 1, because Denver, I think, will lose one of these 2 games. Not Thursday night against the Chiefs. They're not going to lose that. Chiefs, smashed in Tennessee yesterday. But that Charger game, the last game of the season, could be something for them. So there's tiebreak over the New England common game percentage. I want to see who has a tiebreaker between Denver and New England. I don't know if that changes depending on if they both win the last 2 weeks or not. Be interested to see that for it. But that's where we're at.
And what about these irritable Panthers that won?
I'm going to go to that next.
Okay.
So they're 1 week up, 1 week down, 1 week up, 1 week down. I guess this means after they beat the Bucks this week that they'll probably lose to them the last game of the season in Tampa. It's pretty much now. Now, if the Panthers win this week and the Bucks lose, that game will be meaningless. The Panthers are home for Seattle. Obviously, they need the game, Paulie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, and the Bucks are in Miami against the Dolphins. Man, the Bucks can't lose that game, right?
No, they shouldn't.
Quinn Ewers can't miss that game. Can't lose that game. The game's going to be for the division, and I don't even know what to think with the Panthers, buddy. Trying to figure out what the Panthers are going to do on a week-to-week basis.
Well, that's last week when you asked me. That's what I said. I couldn't stand them.
Possible.
And I had the Bucks all the way, and then you flip things around on the Bucks in terms of how their inconsistency's been as well too. That's 2 losses in a row now for the Bucks, correct?
Oh, it's more than that.
Yeah.
They are now, the Bucks are 7-8. They have lost 6 of their last 7 games. They've lost 6 out of 7. The Bucks coming down the stretch here.
So they're just as annoying as the Panthers.
They're finished.
Stop bothering us.
I think the Panthers are going to win the division. They'll beat the Bucks.
That's crazy.
It's just been that weird. Panthers will lose this week. The Bucks will win. They'll both be 8-8. Everyone will be on the Bucks in Tampa, and that's when you play the Panthers. Everyone will be on Tampa in that last game, and they will go ahead and win. Should the Chiefs draft a quarterback? Let's go there. The Chiefs got whacked in Tennessee. Now,
question from the chat.
To be fair, that was a tough spot as it was. You're playing your first meaningless game in like over 10 years at the end of the season because they're always in the playoffs, and this year they weren't. Now, I think we don't need to go that far. What if they trade up to get Mendoza? The kid that played yesterday, and I couldn't even say the kid's name, Gardner Minshew got hurt. This kid from South Dakota State that apparently has been on the roster for the last few years, Ola Duncan or whatever his name is, he was awful. Now, Steve's going a little far here. What if they trade up to get Mendoza? They still have Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes isn't going anywhere. So I don't think the Chiefs are in the market to go and trade up and take the best quarterback in the draft. Should they be looking to take a quarterback in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round to have somebody back there? See, they like having a veteran behind Mahomes. They don't want a kid back there. Reed doesn't want a kid. Because they want to be able to still run their offense and do things.
Well, they got to try and go out beginning of next season and win 3 out of the first 4, 5, 6 games, right? Before Mahomes comes back.
Well, look, I don't think it's out of the question he's playing the first game. I don't think it's completely out of the question.
Well, I think in terms of what you're alluding to here is if the Chiefs get a veteran backup.
That's in the Mahomes Reed era, that has been the path. It's established, been around the league backup. They have never gone the kid route as the backup to Mahomes. This kid's a 3rd stringer. Like, they never had any intention of this kid playing. They got unlucky. Minshew got hurt. It is what it is. I don't think that, Mahomes is not at that point where you're moving up and taking the kid first overall in the draft. That's not where they are. I think, but taking a kid a little further, maybe in the 3rd or 4th round instead of the 7th, maybe they could start thinking in that direction. But I don't think they would go that far up, Steve. They lost 26-9 to the Titans yesterday. And quickly, the rest of it, Paulie. The Bills screwed around in Cleveland like I told you they would. 23-20. They tried to lose. But they end up winning the game 23-20. They're 11-4. Good luck figuring them out on a week-to-week basis too. Got all those games. Yeah, we got them all. I think we got everything that matters, Paulie. Everything that matters, you got in, which is nice to see. Carver and Cuthbert here. Go Sports Radio from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. We will come back. College football playoff from the weekend. Woo. Some games were good. Some games were bad. do all that next. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio from Borrelli's. And we're back. Carver and Cuthbert here, Go Sports Radio. From Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach, on the island. Beautiful day.
A Monday show.
A Monday, rare Monday, and that's next week too, right, Paulie?
Monday and Tuesday this week, Monday and Tuesday next week.
Due to all the holidays, Christmas this week, New Year's next week. Move some things around. Thanks to Borrelli's for doing that.
Yes.
So we have all of that stuff lined up. All right. College football playoff from this past weekend. Nice job by Oklahoma getting up 17-0 and then completely folding it up after that as Alabama outscored them 34-7 the rest of the way.
That's a hell of a comeback, man.
Nice effort
in their house
by Oklahoma, who looked like, I mean, they came out smoking in the first quarter. Mateer, all this.
Ran with abandonment.
And then they were completely gutless the rest of the game.
Couple missed field goals.
Missed field goal, just missed everything.
From a guy who usually never misses.
So 34-24, Alabama beats Oklahoma Friday night. Alabama will now play Indiana in the Rose Bowl. Your Mendoza. Give Bama a shot. Shake it up. I don't think that's shake it up. I don't think anybody wants to see Alabama win, but shake it up.
I don't see Indiana losing that game. I mean, it would have to be under similar circumstances.
I mean, look,
Indiana just falling apart, and maybe it comes down to special teams here and there. But look, I give full credit to Roll Tide, what they will have. Well, I mean, it's a longer bit of a break here for Indiana, right?
Really long break.
It's a really long break. So, but your boy there, head coach there in Indiana, I think he's on a mission here. So yeah, I'll take I'll take Indiana.
I think Indiana's going to win, but I feel like Alabama's going to be in this game. This is not going to be easy work for Indiana. And you look last year, the teams that played the first weekend, they most of them did not go and get racked in the quarterfinals. They were in these games. So I think Alabama's going to be in this game. This is not going to be easy for Indiana. I would take right now it's 6.5 points. I'd obviously like a 7 before then, but
this is the swing, right, Mike? So Roll Tide gets handled pretty well by Georgia.
Right.
And that certainly gave me the feeling that Oklahoma was going to beat them at home, coming off that loss. And then they showed a lot of resolve. They showed a lot of killer instinct there coming back, winning in their house. And now they're feeling really good here. Now it swings back, right?
Yeah.
And we're hoping more than anything, we're looking to get a good game here. And like I said, I'll stay with the favorites here with Indiana.
I think Indiana's going to win, but I think Alabama will be in that game out of the Rose Bowl.
Have they released the spread? Did you mention that yet?
6.5.
6.5. Okay.
I would like to get 7, but I will be taking the points with Alabama, I think, in that game. As much as I have backed Indiana this year.
Can that spread change at all between now and
game time? Sure. Yeah,
really?
Oh, yeah. It'll move a lot between now and next week.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It'll move, a lot. But you got a lot of time between these games, and obviously most of the money really doesn't come in until 24 hours before the day of. So there's, what's with the big gaps for these playoff games?
Ripper
no game until New Year's Day now. They did this last year too. I mean, I personally think it should be a week. They, for some reason, are on like a week and a half, 2 weeks is like what they give them. I don't like how much time there is between games. Division to subdivision, they do their playoff and they play every week. I don't know why.
The NFL in first, and it's around the holidays.
It's too much. It's just money. Is pretty
Spread
much what it all comes down to.
You know.
Saturday, Miami beat Texas A&M 10-3. Now that game had a lot of missed field goals, Paulie. There was a lot of missed field goals in that game, several of them. A&M had a chance to tie the game in the final moments, and they threw a pick in the end zone. Really, I was stunned. I thought that'd be a high-scoring game. And I know, look, the wind obviously was a factor with the field goals. The wind should not have been a factor with the offenses going up and down the field. So some people gave me because it's one of those things. I of course got a lot of tweets about how I picked the over in that game. I never get tweets when I win when I pick winners. I never get those tweets. It's always the losers that you get. So I got a lot of tweets about how you like the over. Good job on the over. Well, good. Where were you with everything else? Where's the nice pick over there with that one? But that's either here nor there, Paulie. I'll complain.
Nobody
for a
thought
moment.
they were going to go 3 quarters like that.
So they played a low-scoring game, 3-3 going forward. Miami scores late, gets up 10-3, and then Texas A&M throws the pick at the end. Really great effort by Miami. Mario, big chest Cristobal, usually loses these games. That's a big win for him in the program. So nice job by Miami. And I saw a lot of this over the weekend. Oh, this must really bother Notre Dame because Miami and Alabama won. I saw a lot of that.
It bothers some of us.
Shut up. Me. Like, I don't care. Who cares?
I know, but
it's like, it is what it is. Like, you're acting like it was, who knows if the different teams are put in different positions, what's going to happen? Like, it is what it is. Okay, so, because Miami and Alabama won, that validates that Notre Dame shouldn't have been in. That's not what it does. Great job by those schools getting ready and taking care. You could have said, let me tell you, if Notre Dame went into Oklahoma, they would have won too. All right? Like, it's just, it is what it is. It's not, I don't think it's a fair thing to say, well, this shows they shouldn't have been in. No, it doesn't. That's not what it shows. It shows good job by Cristobal and his staff having his kids ready to go into College Station and beat Texas A&M. And great job by Kalen DeBoer and his staff having Alabama ready to go into Oklahoma and win that game. It is not a reflection on it. It's nonsense. We just got everybody. It's like if we're not taking a shot at Notre Dame, we can't just enjoy the games. It's always got to be something with the Irish that gets thrown in there. Now Miami will play Ohio State New Year's Eve in the Cotton Bowl. So they will take on, of course, the Buckeyes in that game.
Man,
again, I'm going to do the same thing. I feel I'm going to take the points with Miami. I'm going to be right on all these. I'm sure one of the Indiana or Ohio State, or when we get to Georgia, I'm sure there's going to be a blowout. There always is in college football, but I like these teams that just played this weekend that are going to go and play these teams that haven't played in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month by the time they actually get out there. You know, Indiana, Ohio State played championship weekend. So did Georgia, and so did Texas. So, I mean, they all played that first weekend in December. You're talking 3.5 weeks since they play their next game, whereas these teams are all going to haven't played this weekend. I think it matters. I really do. In terms of maybe not winning the game, but the closeness of the game. And I think that Ohio State's a lot better than Miami. But I think with the layoff and other things, especially first half, like I feel like Miami will hang around in the game a little bit with Ohio State. Don't think they'll beat them, but I think that they'll hang around a little bit in the game.
Hey, man, I'll take close games for these big games. I mean, that's what you want. I think
because most of them usually stink. So
yeah, but I think
like
that
the
is
other 2 games I'm about to get to.
I mean, it will be interesting to see how these teams with the time off respond.
Right. Well, look, last year, let me just bring this up for me. With the teams that had the layoff, bring this up. You're going to give me a moment. You're going to have to wait while I scramble for all my games here. So last year, Texas, of course, played the first weekend. They went and beat Arizona State. Now, some would say, well, Texas was better than Arizona State, or Arizona State probably shouldn't have had this year they wouldn't have had a bye, whatever, blah, 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 blah.
That was a good
and
game.
That was a hell of a game.
Good game.
Great game. Same situation. Penn State played the opening weekend. They beat Boise in the quarter. Boise probably shouldn't have been there anyway. They should have had a bye. They crushed them. Ohio State played the first weekend. They beat Tennessee. They beat Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Oregon had the bye. Notre Dame played the first weekend against Indiana. They played Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. They beat Georgia straight up. So there's 2 examples. I think that better example. All 4 teams, Paulie, last year, all 4 teams that played the first weekend won the quarterfinal. It's a little different this year because you don't have the dopey top 4 conference champions getting the bye. So it was a little fugazi with Arizona State and Boise having the bye. But still, 4 teams, all 4 of them won. I don't think you get that again, but I think it's going to show to the games being competitive. Because the better team is going to have a lot of time off, and the lesser team, quote unquote, is going to have just played a game and be a little bit more sharp. So I think it helps in that aspect. And I do think a couple of them can win outright. I really do.
And I think it calls for the hesitation in terms of where you're going to lean.
Right.
You know, especially as an average fan, I think, you know, what you bring up as far as the spreads and everything else too, especially coming off the performances of these teams that are going to go into these games. Yeah, they are going to be closer, and it alludes to maybe you carry the team with the spread.
Right. And all of these spreads are pretty high except for one. And that's the Oregon Texas Tech game, and Oregon's actually favored in the game, and they won this past weekend. And look, they scored 50 plus points.
I mean, you had mentioned you were talking about how
I thought they weren't. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a low scoring game.
Yeah, you didn't want them to show too much.
I thought I've had the under. I thought it would be a lower scoring game. And I mean, I don't think that looks good on Oregon that they allowed 34 points to James Madison. Like I don't really think that that's and they didn't feel so afterwards either. Dan Lanning and the Ducks, I think honestly felt kind of embarrassed that they allowed James Madison to
a lot of points
score 34 points on them on their home field. So, 51-34.
I don't even think the New York Jets have scored 34 points.
And they didn't, obviously Oregon didn't cover the game. So James Madison covered the 20.5, 21, whatever it was. And
crazy.
Now Tulane gave no fight in Ole Miss.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. See you later.
Thanks for being a part of it.
But I think it once again showed you that, I just don't. I said it for the last few weeks. I'll say it again. Unless that these group of 5 teams are undefeated and they're actually legitimately in the top 12 on merit, I don't think they should get automatic handouts into this thing. I just don't. I don't believe it. Neither of these teams were neither of these teams were one of the 12 best teams. Neither of these teams were one of the 16 best teams. Neither of these teams were one of the 20 best teams in college football. Yet they both got into these games and they both got hammered. Give James Madison credit for scoring 34 points all you want. They got hammered in the game. They gave up 51 points. So
I think the lobster crew's taking notes.
No, they don't care because they still get to eat their lobster and they could do all those things. So that sets up, Paulie, the other two games. Ole Miss and Georgia, Sugar Bowl, rematch of earlier this year, obviously, SEC. And Oregon, Texas Tech. Oregon's the only team that played this past weekend that's going to be a favorite in their game in this round. I like Texas Tech against Oregon. I think that Texas Tech defense is really good. I think that this is an inflated, Oregon's Oregon, and I think that that's why they're favored in the game. I think Oregon has holes this year. You've seen it. You saw it Saturday night, even though they won that game. You saw it against Indiana. I think Oregon has holes. And I don't think Texas Tech is, the best team in college football or anything like that, but I think their defense is good enough that they're going to give Oregon a problem in this game, and I think they can win it. I'm taking Texas Tech against Oregon. Be a good game.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I like Texas Tech as well, too.
And I actually think,
especially with Oregon giving
Ole Miss went blow for blow with Georgia the first time they played. Back and forth, trading scores all the way till the middle of the fourth quarter where Georgia
different head coach
pulled away, different head coach at the time. So, again, I don't know if I could take anything from what Ole Miss did on Saturday. Look, they still scored 40 points. Their defense played great, which I expected with Golding being the head coach now. I think that that's another game. You saw Georgia last year off the extra rest lose to Notre Dame in the same spot. So I could absolutely see it again. I could see Ole Miss. One of these, I'm going to say this. One of these three teams is going to win, Paulie. Alabama, Ole Miss, or Miami. One of them is going to win. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be like last year where all the teams that played this weekend are going to win because it's a little more balanced with the way that they actually formatted the thing properly. But I think one of those three will win. Yeah, one of those big dogs are going to win the game.
It's usually the college football way.
Yeah.
Usually there's a team that gets in. And then,
I'm not going to lie to you. I actually think if I had out of those three teams, I think I would take Alabama. Out of the three of them to get the upset.
They really turn things around, man. They really look good, man. More than anything.
Typical Alabama. Everybody yelling that they shouldn't be there. They're going to go on some run to the last four of the championship game. You just watch.
How many seasons now is this head coach running this program?
This is DeBoer's second season since taking over for Saban. Missed the playoff last year.
He's got through a round now. And
yeah.
He's got.
Remember, he's coached.
He's got people thinking.
He took Washington to the title game the year before that, and when Michigan won, so he's had experience coaching in the college football playoff before. Not this big 12-team one, but 4 he got to the title game. So I think that they're, I give them a shot against Indiana. It's nothing against Indiana. They've had
which is wild that you've been just Indiana.
I don't love the matchup.
Being the hammer.
I don't love the matchup for them.
Yeah.
I don't. I still think that beating Ohio State meant everything to them and winning that Big Ten title. And a long layoff, not playing again. I could see a bunch of those things mixing together. But Cignetti's also great. So Cignetti probably, if I'm thinking it, Paulie, Cignetti's thinking it. So, I'm sure. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that over the next week, getting ready for the college football playoff, right? Tell us a little bit more about what's happening here at Borrelli's, and then we'll finish up with a couple of other things. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island.
All right, once again, happy holidays, everybody, and it is the holiday time here at Borrelli's Taproom, located at 912 West Beach Street here in the great city of Long Beach on Long Island. Christmas hours this week. Christmas Eve is 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then Christmas night is 5 p.m. Till open till late. That's Christmas Day. We do have a Christmas Eve party tomorrow night here at Borrelli's, and that's going to feature live music with, I got it right here. Sorry about that. Logan Wally's going to be here at 7 p.m. And then the Select are going to be here at 10 p.m. There's 2-for-1 pizzas and 2-for-1 entrees tomorrow night as well, too. Only in-house dining. Okay. They're not available for takeaways. So that's the big Christmas Eve Festivus party here at Borrelli's tomorrow night, Tuesday, December 23rd. And just to look ahead at the weekend post-Christmas, on Friday night, the live music continues here with Evan Kurger and the Select. So the 7 p.m. show by Evan, and then a 10 p.m. show by the Select on Friday night. And then Anthony Gall is back here on Saturday, December 27th. That's will be a 7 p.m. show. And Sunday Fun Day, always a great time here at Borrelli's with the football and live music with Current and Company. And that's December 28th. That's this Sunday as well, too. And that's just crazy that we are here the final days of December, heading towards the new year. But come down here. You got some free time back in town for the holidays down here in Long Beach. Come down to Borrelli's. Great live music, parties. And last thing I'll mention, too, if you have any last-minute holiday catering needs, call 516-705-8674. And for all information, further details, and the menu, go to Borrelli'sTaproom.com.
Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, Borrelli's Taproom here in Long Beach. All right, this came across my desk, and I want to bring this up before we go as well. And it just ties into what we were just doing because it's college football. And that's Notre Dame. So earlier this morning, USC let Notre Dame know that they're scared to play them going forward. So this is, of course, once again, another classic rivalry in college football that have been playing each other like since the dawn of time, that starting next year, they're not going to play anymore. Notre Dame and USC, their deal was up. They needed to renegotiate the deal or whatever. And by all the reports, USC is the one responsible for this. USC officials determined that the game date was not ideal considering past decisions from the College Football Playoff Selection Committee in punishing schools for losses, especially those late in the season, because they flip it each year. So when the game's in South Bend, it's usually in mid-October. When the game's at USC, it's always the last game of the season, Thanksgiving weekend. So USC chickened out on playing Notre Dame. But this is, again, goes back to all the things that everyone loves to bash Notre Dame about. Here's USC running and hiding from playing Notre Dame late in the year. Now, once again, all you Notre Dame haters can now go, the Irish were very proactive about this. They already filled the schedule, Paulie, with a new opponent.
Who are they playing?
They went and scheduled BYU for the next 2 years. So they will play BYU in Provo next year, and then BYU will come to South Bend in 2027.
What do you think about that?
That is called, everyone's screaming and yelling that Notre Dame schedule stiffs. This is the team they were supposed to play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl if they would have accepted. Mm-hmm. This is the team at BYU and Notre Dame were the first two teams out in this college football playoff. This is a nice job, proactive job by Notre Dame, and give the BYU people credit too, because usually, these games get scheduled years in advance. Mm-hmm. For a year before, on the fly, saying, you know what? Yeah, let's go play Notre Dame next year.
Let's get it on.
And will anyone give Notre Dame credit for that? Probably not. No. But good job by them going and losing, unfortunately for them, and none of their doing, losing one of their main rivals that they play every single year and turning around and filling it with a team that was right next to them in the college football playoff rankings that they can go and play. So that's a nice job by Notre Dame, in my opinion. So all you haters.
I like, the rivalry and all that other stuff, and too bad. But it's a nice replacement. I think it's great. They get to play BYU. I think it's good stuff. I'm in. Good job.
Nice job indeed. Did you watch the Rangers and Flyers on Saturday? Did you get into any of that?
Here we are with about 6 minutes left in the show. I was really hoping we'd get out of here without talking.
You thought I'd buzz I wouldn't get.
Hey, look, your Islanders aren't looking too good either there the last couple of games either. So, I don't think neither of us have anything to boast about.
The Islanders
I think
only got one of those 4 points Friday and Saturday between Vancouver and Buffalo. Only one of the 4 points.
Look at the Sabres, 6 in a row, baby.
Sabres are hot.
New York's hottest hockey team right now.
Beat the Devils again yesterday. 6.
Hughes comes back. Gets a goal, still lose.
Rangers lost to Nashville last night. I apologize. I forgot. I didn't realize they are
played,
0-7 on second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah, they're not a good team. Well, it doesn't matter. They're missing a couple guys.
So
I'll just keep saying this, Sully. They're boring. They're boring, uninteresting. The goaltending is subpar.
So tomorrow night, everyone pretty much plays, and then the NHL takes off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There are no games for 3 days in the NHL. The Islanders and Devils are playing at the horse track, and the Rangers are in D.C. against the Caps tomorrow night. That'll be before we go away for a few days for Christmas.
As far as I'm concerned, the Rangers are already on vacation, so I just don't see much going on there.
You get a TV triple header tomorrow, Paulie, if you're a hockey fan. TNT is going to give you 3 games starting at 4 o'clock.
Give me the games.
Penguins Leafs at 4 o'clock.
Congrats to Sid, by the way. Surpassing Mario and enjoying the Leafs. Rome is on fire in Toronto, so love that. And hopefully Pittsburgh keeps that going. What's the next game?
Game 2, 6:30 on TNT. Dallas at Detroit.
It's a good game.
It's a good game. It's not a bad game.
Dallas should take care of business there. And what do you
Third game of the triple header, 9 o'clock East on TNT. Flyers at Blackhawks. Not a great game.
Not a great game. You know what was a game? Did you catch any of the Rado Minnesota game?
Rado destroyed them.
Still the bosses.
5-1.
Still the bosses.
Still the bosses.
Good stuff.
But the Wild did beat the Oilers Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
So
this is the thing. They were rolling into this game. You were hoping that you were going to get at least a close back and forth game between them. We were, we're all looking at Minnesota here. You guys, what were they? 7 in a row going into that game.
Yeah.
And Colorado said, no, bless you. We're in charge.
Quick move.
So
had to get that sneeze out.
I'd like to just give it a little tip of the hats to the Knicks here. Continuing to play pretty well.
Nick basketball, you got to veer off the Ranger talk. Get the Rangers out of the way.
What, 8 of last 10, including the cup. A little bump there against the Sixers, but Brunson and Swad, Coach Johnson, good stuff, man.
I'm struggling pulling to the finish line here.
It's all right, man. We got you back. Everybody's here for you, man. It's all right. What's Steve say here? 2010 Stanley Cup rematch.
Bedard versus Eagles.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Where do the Knicks play before the break? They're in Minnesota tomorrow night against the T-Wolves. The NBA, of course, doesn't take the full time off because they have Christmas Day, 5 games. Knicks are playing Christmas Day against the Cavs. Can't get you out to the Garden at noon on Thursday, buddy, with your Santa hat on?
No. And I apologize to me. It's Coach Mike Brown for the Knicks. It's my bad.
Oh, what'd you say?
I said Johnson.
I was sneezing. What'd you say?
I said Johnson.
I was sneezing, so I didn't hear it.
You're having trouble. I'm having trouble here too. But
I'm having trouble. Yeah.
No, but with Brown and the Knicks here, I think this just quietly playing very well.
Brunson was unbelievable. What was it last night? Brunson had, I think.
He's just been consistently unbelievable. And then a couple of games where he struggled a little bit, the rest of the bench has picked him up.
132, 125. They beat the hit. He had 40 feet. He beat 47 last night for Brunson. 47. How about that? 20 and 8. Rolling. Good for the Knicks. I can root for them.
You got to talk some more Knicks here going forward, definitely.
Well, what you got to remember, Paulie, once we're almost there, like after January and the football's over. Like the hoops are going to have to become, going to be one of the main features around here. They have to get involved. I caught a little of St. John's too. They lost to Kentucky on Saturday in that CBS Sports Classic.
Yeah, I heard Patino on Friday in interview, and he kind of really gave an honest, down to earth.
He's all
as far as a grade on his team and where he expects him to be, and he gave full marks to Kentucky. I'm sure that was emotional for him to go back in there.
Yeah,
but he feels maybe not going to run away with the East or anything like that, but definitely hopefully be there for a tournament spot once the season's over.
Certainly will. They'll be there. No worries about that. Once they get Big East play rolling, they'll run over a couple of those teams that are going to be in that. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Go Sports Radio from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. A big Tuesday show, which will normally be like our Thursday show.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go through all the games, Christmas Day, the whole weekend, bowl games. You got the Potato Bowl today, by the way, starting in like a half an hour. Washington State and
It's not
Utah
being held
State.
in Ireland, is it?
No, it's not being held in Ireland. It's on the blue turf in Boise. Potato Bowl. So we have all of that tomorrow. Huge holiday blowout heading into Christmas for us. So Mike Carver, Paul Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, Borrelli's Taproom. We're back with you tomorrow. Have a good day.